different perspectives on immigration. So what I want us to do is imagine, let's imagine for now, you can imagine it in your country, wherever you are. For people in the United States right now, imagine our situation on the southern border right now. And I want you to see that situation from different perspectives. And the first one is that you're fleeing danger. The majority of you reflected that you would cross a border in order to stay alive, protect your family, if you're fleeing danger. So just imagine the southern border and you're running from violence in Venezuela, El Salvador, Guatemala. So just let that sink in for a minute, how illegal migration looks to you if you're one of those people. Secondly, now let's say you're not in danger, but you're in a country that's really struggling. It's tough to get ahead. It's really corrupt. And you just you're seeking more freedom and a chance to really be prosperous and protect your family, grow your position in life and your sense of opportunity. So just imagine that you're okay, but you're looking for something better. Seems like for most people, the US is the number one target for that. Also a lot of Central and Western Europe. Okay, now imagine that you're a drug dealer. Let's say you're in a cartel in Mexico, or you're a human trafficker. How does the open border in the southern border right now in the US, how does that look to you? I mean, apparently that was like, whoa, bonanza. We're having a jubilee in the US. They're making millions of dollars a day on moving drugs across and on human trafficking across that border right now. Okay, then imagine that you're a US farmer or business owner who really has benefited or will benefit from much cheaper labor, so that you can make more profits on your work because you have to pay people less when they're coming from a situation where low wages in the US look like a bonanza to them. Okay, next, imagine that you are an ICE Border Patrol agent. ICE, for those not in the US, is Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So they have this job to do that has been assigned to them according to our Constitution to protect the border and not let people in illegally. However, the President Biden, during his campaign, said, if I get elected, we're going to have a surge of immigrants on the southern border. And then he got elected, the word went out, and now it's rampant. We'll go into some of the data on that soon. But imagine now your job is to protect the borders, and all of a sudden you're having to risk your life against these people who've essentially been invited and authorized in conflict with your rules to come in. And you're spending a lot of your time, protecting Americans on the southern border, and then going out into the desert and, retrieving bodies or people in very dangerous situations and with, who could die imminently because of what a strenuous job it is to get across those deserts. Okay, now you're imagining you're a US politician. Now, most of the Democratic Party assumes that most of the immigrants from the southern border, except Cuba apparently, are going to vote Democratic because they think that that's going to involve more welfare, more liberal policies and so forth. So it really serves US politicians and parties who are trying to take over complete control to have as many migrants with voting power as possible come into the country. Okay, now look, imagine that you're someone who spent potentially several years standing in line, filling out your paperwork, waiting patiently, learning the language in many cases, learning a trade that will be applicable here, and you finally got your green card or you got your citizenship, and now all of a sudden behind you, there's literally millions of people just walking across the border and expecting jobs, welfare, healthcare, housing, and a vote. So how does it look to you as a, Mexican, Central American, Southern American immigrant from any country, really, who's gone through the legal process, and now all of a sudden your opportunity is being taken away by making migration, what was legal migration, into open to illegal migration? Okay, and then imagine that you are a perpetrator of the New World Order. How does the so-called illegal migration, opening up to that, how does that look to you? Well, if your goal is to collapse the United States and every other major country's economy in order to have the citizenry welcome a larger government, in fact, a global government of the New World Order, then this is fantastic. Great, let's make it as chaotic and dangerous and as much economic collapse as possible so that your agenda can move more easily. And finally, imagine if you're a freedom lover in favor of a thriving world. Okay, that's what we're going to go into today. How do we solve this problem and actually move toward a thriving world rather than toward economic collapse, racial polarity, political polarity, all that stuff?